Welcome back to Commander's Tech, Weapons and Warfare in Context. Today, we'll continue our overview of the weapons of Imperial Germany, examining the handguns and machine guns used by the Empire. While the Prussian Army, and later the Imperial Army, was very forward-looking with their rifles and artillery, they were slow to adopt new models of handguns initially, although they were eventually a highly innovative and aggressive adopter of semi-automatic pistols. Similarly, until the true, fully automatic Maxim machine gun arrived on the scene, the German army showed no real interest in machine guns, but after, they were one of the most prolific early adopters. For such a technologically forward-looking nation, the German Empire was initially slow to adapt and modernize with their handguns. Prior to adopting the 1879 Reichsrevolver, an overall plain and unimpressive revolver, they had continued to use a single-shot, smooth-bore percussion pistol for cavalry and officer use. The 1879, in contrast, is a medium-sized 10.6mm 6-shot revolver, perfectly adequate for its task, but lacking a simple, fast way to eject spent casings. The shells could be knocked out one by one using a separate rod. The revolver stayed in service through World War I, although it was dated when it was first adopted. By the 1890s, German industry had made great strides in handgun development, and some of the first practical military semi-auto pistols came online. The 1893 Borchardt was first, but it was not widely adopted, although it had a noticeable influence on later designs. But the 1896 Mauser became legendary in its own right. While not exactly adopted by the military, it was widely used, particularly in World War I, where the Imperial Army purchased 150,000 units in 9mm. The pistol was loaded from the top using stripper clips, such as this, with a fixed box magazine, and it could also attach a stock, allowing it to be used as a carbine.
Go ahead. Okay, and let me come out here. Okay.
Hugo Borchardt, inventor of the Model 1893, had an assistant who took the design to the next level, Georg Luger. Luger's 1908 design was adopted as the standard service pistol by the Imperial military, and it significantly overshadowed his predecessors. The Luger is an excellent, although a little overcomplicated and fragile, early semi-automatic pistol. An artillery version had an extended barrel, and it could mount a stock for use as a carbine. Combined with the snail drum, a 32-round drum magazine, it could be used as a semi-auto PDW or as an assault weapon with the stormtroopers in trench raids.
Okay.
Safety off. German officers purchased their own equipment, and a variety of other pistols were in use as well, including Drace and Mauser designs, as well as early Browning designs like the FN 1910, mostly in 7.65mm or .32 auto. Interestingly, the German army was slower on the adoption of machine guns, but they first adopted the MG01, which was a licensed standard Maxim gun. The MG08 was a German modified Maxim variant, and it was widely used in the German military as well as copied by other countries, such as in the Chinese Type 24. The MG08 was too heavy and cumbersome to be easily moved, but the German war doctrine called for movement, particularly as stormtrooper tactics were developed. The MG08-15 is not a perfect solution for a light machine gun, but adequate and inexpensive. Spade grips were switched to a rifle buttstock and pistol grip. Sled mount switched for bipod. Water-cooled guns are not suitable for aircraft, so the water jacket was switched for a perforated barrel shroud and the fire synchronized to the propeller in the IMG-08. Other variations further lightened the design to try to get more life out of the Maxim design. The first purpose-built submachine gun, the MP-18, was a 9mm blowback submachine gun with a perforated barrel shroud and a rifle buttstock. It used the same snail drum as the artillery Luger with a 32-round capacity. The Becker M2 20mm cannon was the forerunner to the Oerlikon cannon, used in some types of German bombers and heavy ground attack aircraft as well as on Zeppelins and as an anti-aircraft gun. It fired a relatively slow projectile, but it's comparable in capabilities to a pom-pom, the large caliber Maxim autocannons also used in the First World War. The Empire fell in 1918 in a brief revolution after the armistice ending World War I. Imperial weapons remained in service with Freikorps and with other forces fighting in the East after the Bolshevik Revolution. And in addition to that, German pattern weapons had been exported all over the world at that point. The Weimar Republic, and later the Nazi Reich, continued many of the designs and practices of the Empire, but German weapons of World War II and later are out of scope for this episode. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.